Okay, good morning today. Uh, it's a little late start for my stream today. Well, it's just been a very crazy weekend. So, um, Monday morning, I got up a little late. So today's stream is gonna be a little shorter than usual. I'm gonna stream for like half an hour. But the content's gonna be also worth it. So yeah, let's get started. Let me send all the tweets first. All right, let's get started. So yesterday we worked on basically getting the GraphQL query to work in JitHub instead of just experimenting in the testing console app, and it was very successful. And the end result is that we can get some basically JSON based response from the GraphQL server. And one thing that's left to do was to deserialize that JSON response, so we can start using that data in the form of C# objects, and we can start putting that into our UI. And I was thinking, right, like it would be super boring for me just to redefine all the JSON data in C# classes just for the deserialization, because that whole stream would be like just copy and paste JSON objects property name and then defining. It's gonna be so boring. So what I've sorry, my alarm just went off. So what I then decided to do is to just did that part off screen for this one. Sorry you didn't get to see it, but it was super easy, right? Like basically, now that I know that my return data looks like this, I went ahead and defined my sorry, let me just find it, right? So I went ahead and defined my classes for the data that I'm going to deserialize it to, like this basically, right? So I have data, inside data I have repository, and inside the repository I have pull request, just like this one, right? If I scroll to the top, you will see data, repository, pull request, and then inside pull request we have we have number, title, and it extends the ID detail. Detail stands for data transfer objects, because this is what it is, right? We're transferring data from one place to another, and this is not the model, because the model is defined in what's that called, the GitHub SDK. So this is not like the model, and it's also not the view model, because well, technically this is what exactly what the view needs, but the class itself is not it's not implementing our view model based class. So basically, I'm using the the name DTO here just to indicate that this is a temporary object that I made just for the API to carry over the data, right? So that's why it's data transfer objects. And basically it implements ID DTO just to get a property called ID, because it has ID over here in the return object, return JSON object. And then, like number, title, it all matches whatever is here. And then it has reviews, comments, and commits, right? And these are like special objects that implement and these are node DTOs. And what are node DTOs? Node DTOs basically follows one format. If you open up this JSON object, it has one property called total count. That's the total number of reviews that's in this pull request. And page info, meaning where's the start, where's the end, does it have next page, or does it have a previous page to for us to do paginations. And has the nodes. Basically, nodes is the only thing. It's the most important thing that we need to display. Basically, so all of the node DTOs implements these three properties, and it'll take a type. So the type would be what the actual node type is, right? So for example, this one it is a review type for the nodes, so it's a node DTO of type review DTO for the reviews. Same goes for the nodes DTO of type comments DTO for the comments, and pull request commit DTO for all of the commits. And that's basically it, right? And I have all the classes defined right here just so that I can use them. They are basically a copy and paste of the JSON properties with some type inferred from it. And other than this, I have some common classes for things like ID DTO, user DTO, because user appears a lot in this, right? And I have repo DTO for the repo, because repo also appears a lot in lots of places. Page info, because every node DTO has page info and the node DTO right here. Reaction DTO, because lots of things are comment, and comment has reactions, right? So yeah, pretty standard stuff in terms of JSON deserialization. And it's just I thought I'd do this off screen so that you guys don't have to see the boring part, but there you go. And so what does that look like now? So if I just open up, I just compile the app, you will see that I'm able to not only to get the response from the GraphQL endpoint. Right now I can even deserialize the JSONs so that it comes back in the form that we can actually use. I'm not necessarily going to use it in the UI just yet. Probably I'm going to massage it a little bit, turn it into a view model, but right now it is pretty sweet. As you can see, if I can put a breakpoint just over here, and we can trigger this API call. Oh, and the variables are now formed with the actual data that we want to pass in, right? So we're passing in the repo and the pull request for this API call, and we're using the repo's owner's login for the owner, repo's name for the name, and then the pull request number for the number. So the data is actually the one we actually want instead of the one we used to have for testing. And now that the breakpoint has been hit, we can see the response is object with data. Data has a repository. Repository has ID. It's actual real string, and a name Vader, just like we are testing. Owner, going to owner has login of my username and my avatar URL right here. Going to pull request, we have comments, commits, ID, number, reviews, title. You get the idea, right? It's basically the JSON that turned into a C# object that we can actually use. So that is pretty sweet. But Today we probably due to time, probably not going to get to the UI just yet. I know it's a long time coming. We've been waiting for such a long time just to have this to show in the UI, but believe me, we need to do this right. So we really feels the achievement in the end. So we need to do it right. And by doing it right, I do mean one thing. So for now, let me show you what I mean by doing it right. If we take a look at our current queries, you will see that we have pull request, and inside we have reviews, right? And a little bit down here we have comments, and over here we have commits, and that's about it, right? That's about the only 3 things we have. And is that enough? I don't know. Let's take a look. The original API call, we have 5, but 5 really comes down to reviews. That's 1. Comment, that's 2. Review single comments goes into reviews, so it doesn't count. And comments right here, commits and events, right? So minus this one, we have 4 big items, and right now we have 3, and we were going to add commit comments, but now committed comments has been wrote into the commits itself. So meaning we still need 1 more, and that is events, right? So events is actually not something we can get from here basically by calling things like commits, right? We can't just do events, and that is because GitHub GraphQL actually has another schema just for event itself. So right here, what we can do is instead of doing like review, comment, commits, events, we do timeline items. Timeline items are made of these types. So these, if you take a look at these definitions, they basically are the events that we want to use, right? And yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, so they are not exactly just events. So this one is the commit. So I'm not really sure like what the object would look like in the end. And this is what like the pull request, commit, comment, thread. Yeah, so these are like the types, right? And we're gonna see like pull request, review. So it seems like so I looked into this a little bit yesterday. It seems like the timeline items includes everything that we want basically over here. So commits covers commits. Commit comment is commit comment. Pull request review obviously is review, and there's gonna be comments inside the review. And review thread, it's gonna be the comments. Okay. Revision marker, don't really know what it is. And then we got a bunch of events. That's actually the event. What we don't have is, oh, there you go, issue comment, right? So that's the normal comments. So right now we have reviews, review comments, commits, commit comments, and normal issue comments. And you know what? That's plenty enough for us to get started. And I am so sorry that this happens, because I didn't know that timeline item exists. But right now it seems like everything we need is covered in this timeline items, and we probably need to redefine the entire API of our the entire graph query calls just to use it instead of what we have now. So okay, basically this was for experimenting, so this can go, and all of this are pretty much not needed at this point. So the pagination info can pretty much all go away and just need one pagination info, right? Let's just call it page. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So right here we can do like after page, right? It's not a mandatory field, so it could be null. And this now it comes to tedious part, right? We can basically have everything defined over here. So for each type, we know exactly what to get in the return type. And you know, I know it sucks. It definitely do suck because you know, we spent all this time just trying to get everything right, and now this comes in, and you know, basically we're, I don't know, it's a little weird, but we already have everything defined over here, so might as well reuse some of it. So let's see if we have ID on this thing. Not really. Node? No. How do we do this? Expected name. So let's see how to really use this thing. So should be able to do at least an ID on this. Yeah, so you know what? It's weird that it doesn't have autocomplete on things like ID, but ID, no, really? Unknown type. Okay. Oh, wait. So they have underscore here, but actually we don't use underscore when we do. Okay. So we have ID, and that okay, that's pretty straightforward then. Let's tear out this definition and see what exactly we're getting here. So for commits, we are getting ID. We're also gonna need, oh, so that's the node. So we're gonna need the, okay, that's fine. That is fine. Let's get the actual commit. And in terms of the actual commit, we need the ID, OID, author, all the dates, author, repository, comments, and probably comments is the only thing that we're not gonna need because it seems like progress commit comment thread. Yeah, seems like we're gonna get the comments from here, so basically we just need like all of these, I guess, right? Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all we need for this type. And to keep going on the definition, I think we just do the spread operation again. I don't know if it's called spread operation over here. So right here we want to pull request commit common thread. I assume it has ID. It has the actual commit. And I think inside we're gonna need ID, OID, and I think that's the only thing we need to identify which commit it is. And we have the comments. And probably it's gonna ask us for, how many we wanna fetch. So let's do first 50. And over here, let's do the same old for all of the comments. We're gonna have the following, right? So close this here, open once, open twice, close once, open twice, open third time, close once, open third time, open fourth time, close once, close 2, close 3, close 4. That should be the thing we're looking for, right? But no. 1, 2, 3, because we want the things that's inside. Okay, this is column 15. 1, 2, 3. This is column 18. This is 16. So yeah, from there. And it seems like it's correct. So if we do comments, page info, nodes, and we collapse nodes, this is all the comments of the commit, the commit comment. And I don't know, do they have like in reply to? Oh, this is the reaction part. So let's collapse that. So this is the actual commit comment. Do we have something like in reply to? Doesn't seem like it. So okay, yeah, that's it. That's it for the commits. Commit comment. And the next thing is pull request review. So for pull request review, it's gonna be pretty much the same. So here's the thing. In the pull request review, we like there are there's two choices we can make, right? So first one is to do review and the review thread separately, and or we can do it together, sort of like how we're doing it now. But if we combine them, we do need to think about like what we're gonna do for the thread, right? It's pretty much, yeah. Okay, let's see then. So for the review, we can get so basically we can scroll up to the reviews to see what they have. Reviews have, you know, ID, state, URL, author, created ad, commit, and that's probably everything we need at this point, right? And can we get comments? We can. So yeah, but let's not get comments for now. If we do another spread, pull request review thread, let's see what this is. So let's just assume that this is okay. So let's see if it has a review. Okay, basically it has an ID, that's fine. Okay, it has some a threaded list of comments for a given. Wait, what? Review thread. It has comments just like we did before. The site of the div on which the thread is placed. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so we need a div site. We already have ID is collapsed. Okay. This is so much more information than what I initially anticipated, and we are running out of time a little bit, unfortunately, because we're not planning to stream for a long time today. I'm gonna stream for like 5 minutes more just to kind of finish up on this object itself, but it seems like there's a lot to go through just to revise this query here. So maybe I do a little something offline today, just to get the boring part through so we can finally see some interesting things. But you know, for now, let's keep going for another 5 minutes. So after so if it's resolved, right, it is resolved. And yeah, we need then we need the line number, I think. Original line. Okay, so yeah, this is a lot more information. So original line start, yeah, the path, which pull request it is for. I think we have that information, but just to be safe, let's have it here so we don't have to reattach it. So for the pull request, I think we just need the ID, the number, and that should be it. Right, that should be the only thing we need. Also for the repo, we're gonna have something, right? So for the repository, we're gonna have the name, ID, name owner. For owner, we're gonna have the login avatar URL, and that's the repo. And if someone resolved it, we want to know, right? Resolved by, and I think it's a user type, right? Resolved by it's a user type. So we'll do our normal user thing in there. Okay, so basically this is for where the div starts. So start div side. Start line. Okay. Viewer can reply. Viewer can resolve. Viewer can unresolve. Basically, this is like everything we need. And after that, the only thing we need is the actual comments, right? And comments is easy because we have them right here. And this is nested inside review thread. So yeah, we should be good. So let's do this. Let's do this. This is column 13. Comment. This is 10. This is 12. $14, $13. So I guess from here, I take the whole comments section and paste it in here basically, and it should be all valid. And yeah, so for the comment, what we want is sorry again for my alarm. Okay, it seems like we are running a little bit out of time today, so I'm gonna so do they recognize what this is? You think it's C#? No, it's GraphQL, baby. Okay, and let's delete these comments. So right now we're on this type right here, and it's going to correspond to that. And for all of the comments, it's going to correspond to that. So where is it missing all of the Oh, there we go. Now everything's lined up. Okay. Well, now that we have everything, we can't really finish this query today, but it does look promising, right? I'm gonna finish some of the things off screen just because there's so many things we need to go through for the type definition to work. And probably I'll tidy things up a little bit just to have just to have the definitions to be reusable, because sometimes if we went into like a user, we do a login and avatar URL, and then another place we went to the user and then we do the same thing. So I can probably do the segment thing just so it's clean. And also after this we'll probably need a redefinition on the actual object that we deserialize to, so that part is also going to be boring. I'll see if I can spare some time probably tonight to finish this up, and I'll see what we'll be working on tomorrow during tomorrow's stream. But this is definitely fun because the reason why I like using timeline item is that we can just do one pagination, and it is so much easier just to do one pagination because you have no idea how much better this would be compared to 3 paginations. Basically, if we do 3 paginations, every time we have to see if any other 2 page has been updated and update the view model conditionally, and it's gonna be a mess. But this is so much better. You have no idea how much better this is. So it is definitely worth it, and it's a learning thing, right? Like, I know we used the other thing before, and now we're switching to this, and the whole thing is taking a lot of time. But it doesn't matter. Because the only thing that matters, is that we're doing things correctly and we're learning about things. That's all that matters, right? Learning is all that matters. This process is not for really making the best app that people like, because let's face it, a third-party app probably can never reach the level of the first-party website. I do believe I can offer some unique functionalities over the website for things like integrating VS Code in the future and doing probably local Git management in the future. But that's all some topic that we can cover later on. But right now, this is pretty good, I say. Like, we are learning so much about GraphQL and how GitHub does this GraphQL thing. So yeah, be on the lookout for the next stream. We're gonna have so much fun. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today. Definitely follow me on Twitter, follow me, subscribe to my channel, check out JitHub if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.